Emma's day had been a whirlwind. Dinner simmered on the stove. Her two kids, Lily and Max, were upstairs arguing over something trivial, and the house hummed with its usual chaos. But just as she went to set the table, she realized it. She'd forgotten the milk. Her stomach sank.
Really, Emma? Of all days.
She grabbed her keys, shouting,
I'll be back in 10 minutes. Behave.
The door shut behind her with a sharp thud, and the house fell silent. The drive to the store was uneventful, but strangely quiet. Emma turned on the radio to break the silence. Static crackled through the speakers, then silence returned. She shrugged it off, focusing on getting this errand over with. At the store, she moved quickly, grabbing the milk and heading to the self-checkout. As she scanned the carton, her phone buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out, expecting a message from Lily or Max, but her breath caught. The text was from her own number. "We're not alone." Emma froze. Her throat tightened as her eyes darted around the store. The aisles were empty. The fluorescent lights overhead buzzed faintly, flickering just enough to make her stomach churn. She shoved the milk into a bag and hurried out to her car. Sliding into the driver's seat, she locked the doors and glanced in the rearview mirror. The back seat was empty, but her chest still felt tight. As she drove home, the streetlights seemed dimmer, the road unnervingly desolate. She reached for the radio again, hoping to break the oppressive silence. This time, a slow, haunting melody played. It wasn't a song she recognized, and yet it felt like it was meant for her. The unsettling tune crawled under her skin, each note sharp and deliberate. Emma's grip on the wheel tightened as the melody seemed to grow louder, weaving itself into her thoughts. She turned the radio off abruptly, her heart racing, but the unease lingered, heavy and inescapable. When she pulled into the driveway, the house loomed dark and quiet. She stepped inside, calling for the kids.
Lily? Max?
Her voice echoed unnaturally in the stillness. Her gaze fell to the foyer, and her breath hitched. Beside the family's familiar pile of shoes was a pair she didn't recognize, large, worn, and covered in dried mud. Emma's pulse quickened. Her eyes darted to the rest of the house, scanning for signs of movement.
Lily? Max?
She called again, her voice trembling now. The kitchen lights flickered to life, and Emma froze. The table was set, plates, silverware, glasses, and in the center sat the milk carton, already sweating with condensation. Her mind reeled. She hadn't unpacked the groceries. A shadow shifted at the edge of her vision. She turned sharply, heart pounding, but nothing was there. Then laughter, faint, hollow, coming from upstairs. Her kids' voices, but distorted as if someone or something was mimicking them. Emma crept up the stairs, her pulse pounding in her ears. Her phone buzzed one final time. Welcome home. The door to Lily and Max's room creaked open. A figure stood in the doorway, tall and wrong, its shape barely human. Behind it, the laughter grew louder, sharper, filling the house. Emma's breath hitched. She should have just remembered the milk.